people are hurting, they're scared, and they just don't really know where to start in their inner work and how to reduce their fear and their anxiety and how to keep and maintain their tribe and their friendships. And Dean, you have started your inner work well over a year ago. How did you start working on yourself, and how have you continued to maintain it?
I came here.
Here being the Mystics of Texas.
Being the Mystics of Texas, yes. I came here. I had made a decision that I needed a couple of 3 operations to get my beat up body back in working order. So I left work and took some early disability and started getting surgeries. And my friend Andrew said, man, you got to come out here on Sundays. And it was after the first one, the first time I came out here, there was a lot of information, you touched on. And, of course I went home and I have a computer in my pocket. So, just started looking and then, so I kept coming out here, and the more we talked, I don't even know how the first thing we started talking about, breath work. And I said, what's breath work? And so it was like the next Sunday, we went over into the theater and did it. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And then we started talking about fasting and more and meditation, which I had touched on in my past.
How was breath work for you? What did it do for you that first time? You'd never heard of breath work, and all of a sudden we had a group of us went in the theater. Mm-hmm. We all relaxed. We had we have a big screen theater, and so we put the guided breath work on the big screen, and everybody's relaxed in the big chairs. What was that like? How did it help you?
Oh, it blew my mind, because at the end it was like going on a little trip and never leaving the farm, if you would. Right. And you could tell it did something good, or I could tell it did something good to my body and my mind, because right at the end, I got to, even though it was momentary, it was a deep, deep state of meditation that I really never experienced before.
Yeah, that's really, it's so amazing to me that, I'm 53, and I have spent my entire life, up until about 6 years ago, not recognizing all of these tools right in front of my face to be calm, be cool, have a higher empathy and sometimes sympathy for others in a real meaningful way. And I thought meditation was for some goofy yoga sitting on a mountaintop. That's not for people in Louisiana and Texas. Like, that's kind of stupid. I had that sort of mentality. I have things to do. I got work to do. I don't have time to sit around and breathe. I'm breathing all day. This is kind of, that's the way I looked at it. And then all of a sudden, you get somebody that says, hey, why don't you just try this technique? See if that helps reduce some anxiety. And, you're kind of like, okay, and you're not really thinking much about it. You're thinking it's mostly BS, but you're appeasing a friend. And then all of a sudden, you do a 10-minute breath work, and you go, oh, wow, this is amazing. And those tools are in everybody's grasp. Everybody can do breath work. Everybody that has these high anxiety levels or stressed out over these things, you just can do it. And just like meditation.
Breath work, it doesn't cost a thing to breathe.
Not yet, anyway. I'm sure they're going to figure a way how to meter it.
True. Grounding. I mean, all these things that I've implemented since coming out here, some fasting, grounding, being in the sunlight, all these things you can pay tens of thousands of dollars for to get the machines that you could bring into your home and, you know, get them to do it, like the red light beds and everything else. Everything in nature is just right outside the door, laying on the grass, being in the
just going to
sun,
the grass.
grounding.
Like one of the things that one of the tools, and for y'all at home, if y'all haven't seen the documentary, it's called Grounding. It's even on YouTube now. It is so phenomenal that most people, and including me, up until a few years ago, did not realize that the Earth has its own resonating field. It like emits energy at the surface that actually benefits the body. So if you walk around barefooted, that's one of the reasons why I'm barefooted most of the time. And what's up, little kids? And then if you just go and you can do the science has been done on this. It reduces inflammation. It helps with calming yourself. It helps with your intuition. It helps with healing your body. Just a simple act of laying in the grass. It's truly amazing. And so that's another thing we do out here. If y'all are in the local area, any of you TikTokers, we're like 30 minutes from Shreveport, about 30 minutes from, 40 minutes from Longview. So we're in the center. Works out great. So just, you know, pack up your stuff, come on out. Because you can go earthing. Now you started fasting. We did a podcast together, me, you, and Jill, the illustrious, super fine, hot Jill. You can go back like a year ago and see that was a really good and popular podcast we did because none of us had fasted before.
Yeah.
And so we're like, hey, let's all do a 3-day fast. And because we had been studying, one of the things we do here is try to figure out what we could do to be healthier, mentally, spiritually, and physically healthier, and how to keep and build and maintain real friendships. And when we started that fast, that was amazing because it was hard. Like it was not easy. I got a bad headache on the second day, and then we both found out that don't trust your gas because you might accidentally, you might need Depends. That's no joke. It was dangerous, and
they didn't say that. Mindy, Dr. Mindy, never did tell me on YouTube that
Hey, you might accidentally, do the number 2 on yourself. Yeah, I wish somebody would have gave me some warning. But those things, because after that was over, I felt amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what you've been doing, and that's what you have continuously done since you've been coming out. You'll have intermediate fast. You could tell I was stressed a couple of weeks ago, and I know that's why you said, hey, let's go ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, let's just go ground. Let's go breathe outside together.
I think I said, when was the last time you grounded?
Yeah. And that is part of having good friends. Like, hey, I can tell you're stressed. Why don't we just go sit and visit? Why don't we sit and take our shoes off and put them on the ground? Hey, why don't we, instead of talking about any issue, hey, why don't we just lay down on the grass and meditate for about 10, 15 minutes? Like, that's what a friend does. Like, that is what we collectively need to be helping and doing with each other, and helping each other through our own experience whenever another buddy is in need. Like, that's important. And like, we have our super core group with that are here today. Today is Easter, so y'all will be watching this besides you on TikTok. Happy Easter, everybody. What else has it been about this place and your own personal journey that has that's helped you? Because you've been like remarkable in watching you from the time you got here to now, which has been over a year.
Oh,
man, like your mind and body and spirit have made massive transformations, and it's been like truly incredible to watch and be a part of.
It's gotten me out of my norm when I first started coming out here. I mean, because...
Would you recommend everybody get out of their norm?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, life without adventure is boring. And it doesn't take much of a change to have an adventure.
No, it does not.
Just changing. Well, I really started taking my health, because I was in a lot of pain, and I needed some surgery, some structural surgeries and whatnot. So, doesn't take a genius to look in the mirror and know you're fat, and it doesn't take a whole lot of self-honesty, to admit that. It's kind of hard to, and so
So
but,
you weren't lying to yourself like you see the big models in Target, for example. Big is beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and say you can still be a beautiful human, but you're really unhealthy, and that's not something to promote.
Yeah, and your knees are going to suffer.
Yeah,
and your ankles
but
and
you
your
lost
shoulders
a
and
ton.
everything.
How much weight have you lost since you've been coming out here?
I don't know.
It's a lot.
Yeah, hopefully putting on some muscle.
Yeah,
Which I am.
You started working out.
Yeah, finally, and just moving, just really, just implementing, being around people that with like-minded goals of being healthy, of being spiritually healthy, of being in a group, in a tribe, to where everybody does want to be healthy, everybody's open to new experiences and different ways of thinking, different ways of eating.
It has a big impact on your entire life.
Yeah.
Because I think if we close our minds off, I did a short video inviting people out today, and I just said, what is, and this is in regards to what you're saying, is being open and broad, because everybody thinks they know something. And then when you say, well, what does Christianity and pre-Christians have to do with Easter? Like, what is rabbits and what do eggs and what does this holiday, did it exist before Jesus? And were there any ideas and pre-traditions of that filtered down to what we do today? And the answer is, factually, yes. it's not like up for debate or anything.
Right.
It was a fact. You had Mithra, Dionysus. We get the word Easter from Asteria, which was the god of fertility, and then when you think of rabbits is the symbol of fertility, because we've all heard, like a rabbit, and that is. It is true. That's what it comes. And the egg is fertility. And so why wouldn't we celebrate that at this time of year? Because most people think, okay, well, it's Good Friday and Easter were representing the death and resurrection. But what it is the death of the end of winter. It is we have been in a death cycle, and now we are going into the rebirth of our sustenance, our life. We're going into having the abundance of food and nice weather, and everything is growing and it's beautiful and life is flourishing. Bees are going to get their nectar and pretty girls are laying out with their bikinis. All these things are happening because we are experiencing a rebirth of life. And that is the tradition that continues to be passed down. And you can say that to some people and they get really pissed off. Like mad. Like, why are you mad about a fact? Right. So if you get mad about facts and you're not really wanting to open up your mind to why and how we have believed things our entire life, self-knowledge is important. And that's one of the things we've done here. That's one of the things that you have done tremendously that I really am proud and honored to be around people that are expanding their way of just being self-aware and using the tools around them to be self-aware. Mm-hmm. And I want to say that where even in politics and religion are the same thing to most people. And you can say Democrats are the best, or you can say Republicans are the best, then you're going to have a whole fight. You can say, well, Easter is only Christian, but you can factually show that it was not. And then you get fights on both sides. Like, everybody's fighting over nonsense. When we are humans, we are this energetic field, and we need to figure out how to elevate each other's energy to higher levels. And that is what you've been
Absolutely.
doing. Like our friendship has done that for me personally.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I mean, it's,
And in the same way with like my friends sitting here and Steve, and I'm starting to become good friends with Eric over some time. And I got this new guy back there asleep, and when we got all these other people that have been wonderful in my own journey, and that's part of the reason why I created the Mystics of Texas, because for one, the name was a joke because there's no mystics in Texas. I just thought it was funny, but it was also true because life is a mystical and a magical thing. Science, they can't understand where our consciousness comes from, and that's part of one of our discussions we've had
certainly.
many times.
And everybody is searching for answers. I mean, no matter what the question.
Right.
But there are so many different answers to each question.
Yeah, I mean, what is consciousness? Yeah, you can look at it. We had this conversation that I find fascinating. I can never have this conversation enough. Is the human is mostly space. Every piece of matter is mostly space. And you say, what are you talking about, Kevin? Well, on the atomic level, when you take a nucleus, if it's this big, a basketball, the proton and neutron are going to be about 2 miles away. And there's nothing in between it. That means we're mostly space because we are built of those things. That is a weird thought. It's hard to wrap your mind around. Everything, and how are we not just falling through this chair, falling through Earth? Well, there's electromagnetic fields, and there's a repulsion. And then that is fascinating because you think, okay, well, everybody is mostly space. And then the thing that's not mostly space is mostly water, and it's leaving us, evaporating off our skin. We're intaking water, expelling water. So we are fluid and mostly space. And most of the time, when I start to kind of get stressed out over a life situation, I force myself just to take a deep breath and go, you do realize you're mostly space and water, right? Does water get angry? And I think, well, it can, but it normally is pretty calm. And I just think of a calm piece of water, and I just start to feel all right. And like, that is fascinating. Like, how do you wrap your mind around that Eric, who I'm clearly looking at, is mostly space? That big, beautiful beard of his is mostly nothing. Like, it's a weird thought, man. It's weird.
That was the things. It's when you say stuff like that, it is stuff that it made me go home and get on the old pocket computer and just go, that's interesting, but we're just going to have to ask a few more questions about that. And yeah,
It's mind-boggling.
it is mind-boggling to think that something solid is being held together by
Energetic fields.
energetic fields.
And we can understand energy, and we've said this many times, that the energy of me and you, just me and you are alone, nobody else is here. We're going to have our own energy. We're going to have this energetic field between us. We're going to be happy. We're going to be conversing like we always do. And all of a sudden, Dinah and Jim, they walk up. All of a sudden, they bring their energy. So if they're in a good mood or bad mood, it's going to reflect in our common energetic field. If they walk in happy and laughing, and like today they were surprising us, so you could tell they were happy to be surprising us.
Right.
And what does that do to our energetic field? Like, it just boom,
Yeah.
like, oh, this is great. But if they walked in here and they were like, I don't feel like being here, and they give that energy, then we're going to be like, well, why'd y'all show up? That's the way it is. Same way when somebody happy walks into a room, all of a sudden everybody, you don't even have to know the person,
Right.
like, oh, this is great. Or somebody walks in and they're a real rude ass. All of a sudden, everybody's like, ugh. I mean, that is a real life example of how our energy affects everything.
Right.
I like to think about it as a glass of water. We've all done this. You have a glass of water and you have some kind of dye. Like when we're all kids, right? This is Easter, we dye Easter eggs. Well, what do? You put some dye in the water. All it takes is one drop. So you got one ass and you drop that in the pool of everybody that's clear and beautiful and wonderful, and that one ass destroys the whole water. And that is exactly the analogy of what it is. So the point of that is stay away from asses. stay away from the bad apples, and help them if you can. But you don't want to be surrounding yourself with negativity, and that is part of what we do here. Elevate yourself. Be around people that elevate you. If you got in a bind, who are you going to call? Make sure you build and maintain relationships. It's not enough just to like become friends with somebody and then not participate in their life. Like, we're all busy, right? I mean, I can't, you can't, we can't all just stay in contact with everybody all the time. But we can reach out to, every time somebody pops into our head, why can't you send a quick text?
Right.
Why can't you just make a quick phone call? Hey, buddy, you popped in my mind. How are you? And whenever you can, tell your buddies, like, hey, I really like doing this thing. I like this restaurant. Would you like to go with me? Hey, I'm having a little cookout. Hey, I'm having a friend over. We're going to grill some hamburgers. You're down the road. You want to come? They don't have to come. But being invited to do things with other good people, even if you can't go, still elevates your spirit. Like it makes you feel better. Like last night, I didn't know if you were going to come join me and Kyle when we got back or not, but I was glad that you were already sitting out there. Like you were already waiting on us. And you're just as happy as can be. You got your tobacco pipe and you're just smoking. That thing smells. I love pipes. It smells so good. And what do me and Kyle do? Me and Kyle are happy as hell. Maybe you're just back, you're smiling as we're walking up. And I'm like, yep, another reason I love Dean. It's like, that's the beauty of what we do. Like me and Jill are sitting here. This is another great reason I love this group so much. We didn't recognize this car. So me and Jill are sitting here and pulling up and we're like, who is that? And then all of a sudden, the only thing I could see through that windshield was a huge smile. And I went, oh, that's Megan. I couldn't see anything else but her just big, beautiful smile. I was like, man, that has to be Megan. I just instantly knew. And that energy from sitting in that car radiated and just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, yeah, that's Megan. It's awesome. That is what we do to each other. Because if she would have not done anything, I wouldn't have been able to see her. She could have got out and had a frown. The guy she rode with could have, he could have been a jerk. They could have just had a fight. I don't know. But she wasn't. She was awesome. And they've got along great coming over here, obviously. So those are things we must pay attention to. All of the tools. If y'all didn't see this morning's presentation on the 15 tools that we have available to us to find our energetic levels, to help ourselves grow, I can't name them all right now, but go back and look at that because these tools are right in front of us. We can help each other remember to use them. We don't have to experience this life in isolation because a lot of people have a tendency to say, I don't feel like doing that thing. No, I don't feel like going doing anything today. I'm not going to do this thing, whatever that thing is. But if you just take the effort to go be around people that are wanting to help themselves and thus helping you too, man, you got to do it. You only have this one life. Don't waste it by bringing your own energetic levels down. Kyle is a great example of that. Kyle has been, our relationship has blossomed, and I am very appreciative and honored to be his friend. And now I know I can count on Kyle. I know now that I can count on Steve. I know now I can count on y'all. Like, I know that now. And I know that because much time has passed and we've actually been building and nurturing and loving this relationship. And I know for a fact I can count on Dean. And that's the beauty of life. If you don't have anybody you can count on and help you, you too, Ricky, don't feel left out. Because that's a fact. It's important. And Dean, I appreciate and applaud you for your just incredible effort on knowing yourself, being a better human being, and being able to have some of the most fascinating conversations in the study that I've ever had with the highest of intellects. Have become a master of self-improvement, and I am proud to be your friend.
Well, thank you.
And y'all, if this kind of stuff resonates with y'all at home and all you TikTokers and YouTubers and everywhere else this goes, y'all come out. We are a fantastic group of people, or at least we like to think we are, and we love y'all.